to John. You want to talk about how the berry picking season went and how you handled customers. I know some people are really concerned how we're going to handle big influxes of people at one time at the payment end, and if we're hitting a limit of how many we can admit, how you handled that or that sort of thing.
John, do you need the screen? Should I stop sharing? Do you need the screen at all?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. I don't need the screen. Okay. Most of my stuff is going to come from my noggin, what's left of it. But strawberry season, I think, started on June 20th, and we had started to plan for this, believe it or not, probably on March 19th or March 20th. We were going to be well aware of that things were not going to be normal. Things are going to maybe be a little bit different. I mean, we always hoped that they would, but basically what we did out in our field is that we got rid of the wagon rides because it was just too close. We encouraged people to wear masks. Change for us was that you could not bring anything from home. So if you had your favorite bucket, put it back in the car or leave it here, we'll throw it away for you. We encourage people to wear masks. We shepherd people out into the berry field probably in groups of 20 so that we had lines or cones set up 6 feet apart that went probably, easily or 300 or 400 feet in length. And it was not uncommon for us to have every one of those cones filled with a family. And once again, if you rode in the same car with someone, we considered you a family, so that you could be a family unit out there. Once they got out into the field, it was pretty spread out. We did our best to make sure that our rows are 4 feet apart, so it was every other row that you could pick, and you would be very careful of, encourage people to be conscious of their surroundings and be respectful of other people. And it seemed to work fine. I mean, at that particular point in time in June, there were just a tremendous amount of people that wanted to get out and do something. I think we had a lot of first-time people that came out to pick strawberries because they just wanted to get out of the house and do something. So it was an indoctrination for them and an indoctrination for us on how to handle such large crowds. And quite frankly, there were times when we were just kind of like right on the edge of going like, wow, there's a lot of people out here, so let's keep our wits about us. Now, after the people picked all the berries that they wanted, they were able to, carry them back on their own, back the distance that they walked out, which was, it might have been anywhere from 1/10 of a mile to 2/10 of a mile or however far it was. But once again, we had an open air checkout that did have a roof on it, that did have screens set up for people so that our cash register folks were behind a screen. It was a touchless system so that you would swipe your card and away you went. If you didn't want a receipt, you didn't need one. That actually worked out, very well for us. We did have a ready-picked area down at the building that I'm in right now, that was people that didn't want to go out and pick strawberries. They did have, I think they sold them in about 4 or 5 pound flats out and pick up. You didn't really need if you wanted to reserve some or do an online ordering or a call-up order, we were able to satisfy people that way. But once again, it was social distancing going in because the sales room isn't as big as the, or the 300-acre farm. So we had to be very conscious of what was going on inside the building. And worked out that there did not offer anything that you could eat on the property. So that immediately took the effect of a restriction away so that we could allow as many people on the property as we wanted to. But once again, we had to make sure that inside the building, that there's only a certain number of people allowed. And once again, the checkout was the same way as it was out in the field. Touchless screens between the customer and the attendant or the salesperson. And there was a screen that was behind the person so that they weren't too close to the checkout in the next lane over. So we learned a lot. We tried to speed up. We did a lot of reconstruction or rearranging in our sales area so that everything flows much better. As I'm sure you're aware, there's ins and outs, there's entrances and exits, and you cannot use the same ones. So it is a learning experience, but we've been able to handle it very well. Right now, it's a busy apple season right here. I would say that the line to get into the building right now is probably a couple hundred feet long, for people to get in, because once again, only so many people get in. This season has, as far as apple season goes, it's kind of a bunch of no's and mores. No entertainment, no wagon rides, no sampling, no desserts. More cleaning, more checking, more monitoring, more cleaning after sales. So it's there's more work that goes on. We have portable bathrooms out here. They're checked every hour so that we make sure that there's nothing, everything is on the up and up. And we've got a sprayer. We've got some picnic tables out there for if people want to sit down and look at the lake. We can do that, but we do have a hand sprayer that we will spray off a table after someone leaves, so that it will hopefully kill anything that was left behind. And we hope that most of our customers aren't leaving anything behind for us. But there's a lot more monitoring of the surroundings. We do have an apple walk through the orchard that is available, but a history about what the orchard is about. So if people want to get a little bit of exercise, the pumpkin patch is probably, and corn maze will probably open maybe next weekend, I think, is for that time. And once again, as Kathy said, that there's going to be a limit of the number of people that can be in that corn maze at one time. And so that'll have to be monitored, a separate exit once again, so that people aren't crossing. But our corn maze is not very elaborate. It's been chastised by people by a walk through the corn. Again, it's set up for people, young people, probably between 5 and 10 years old, not teenagers that want to get lost. No, ours is very, very simple, and it's a lot of fun. And we're excited to be able to do it again. So we thank the people that were involved. I think it was Annalise and food worked on that. So all in all, it's got to wear a mask, and we had that for strawberry season. Employees wear masks all the time. Customers are encouraged to wear masks all the time, especially if they're going into the building. They have to wear a mask on. And the thing right now that we're getting really picky on is that it has to cover your nose. You cannot have it below your nose. And so, and some people are pretty good about it, and most everybody does follow that. So it's going well, but I think we're all, we're just doing the best we can, and hopefully our best is going to be good enough to make it through this until the end of our season. And our season runs until almost Easter, so we've got a long ways to go.
John, I have 2 questions for you. Can you estimate like the increased cost, like about how much, did your costs increase 10% maybe to handle all of this, do you think? And then did you apply for any of those MDA grants to get money to help pay for some of the masks and the sanitizing, that type of thing?
Our Chamber of Commerce in White Bear Lake has has been able to get masks that they will donate to you up to 2,000 masks at a time. So we've been able to use that, and that's worked out very well. We've absorbed a lot of the cleaning costs ourselves, and we have not applied for any of the grants that have been made available to small markets or farm markets. And all in all, I think what's going on right outside the window behind me here is that we do have more, the tractor drivers that used to drive the wagons for our scenic ride through the orchard are now more or less ambassadors. And what they're doing is they're engaging the people. They're saying that, this is, hey, this is a little bit different than what it may have been last year. This is why we're doing it. We want to make sure that everybody understands what's going on here. Hopefully you won't be disappointed and you'll understand. I mean, we're kind of on the tail end of this as far as what people have been going through since March, April, and May. So everybody has a pretty good idea of it. If you go somewhere, if you go to Target, if you go to Kmart, you go to Costco or anywhere else, that you're gonna put the damn mask on and enjoy it and have a great time. So and that's just what these people do. We want to calm everybody down to make sure that it's going to be fine once you get inside. And actually, as far as it goes, when it's not as crowded inside, we are able to do our job as far as filling shelves and making sure that the product is available much, much better. So it's kind of a good balancing act that we're performing here, and I think it's working out very, very well.
I had one question on something you said, not allowing the public to bring their own containers, and I'm just wondering how those regulations work. Are we able to allow the public to use their own saw to cut a tree, or do we have to provide those saws?
I'll let Kathy answer that.
I mean, a tree is not an edible thing that they're going to.
Yeah. I was thinking about what you guys are going to be encountering, and I thought, you probably shouldn't have to wear a mask. But then I thought, when the temperature gets cold and you see someone's breath go out, it's in the air. So it's like, no, those guys are going to have to wear masks like all the time. It's just going to be very, very interesting. And I think as far as the Christmas tree growers, I mean, the social distancing, putting too many people together in one spot, once again, not offering, sorry, no hot chocolate, you can't do that. You can bring your own, and that might be, and we did encourage people to bring their own water. And we had, the other thing about strawberries and apples is that my brother came up with a way to make just a bunch of really inexpensive hand washing stations that were touchless, so that you could you just pump like you were pumping a fuel tank on an old outboard motor, with the bulb. You'd pump that, and then the water would come out and you could wash your hands. And it's like, it was very, very inexpensive, and it worked out fabulous. And we had those everywhere. And we had the alcohol wipes and everything, so that if anybody wanted to sanitize their hands, wash their hands, we were right there.
So Mark, was your question, who should bring the saws? Just cut the
tree? We allow people to bring their own saw, and we provide saws if you don't have it. And as I understood in the picking, the container, they could not bring their own container to put their own produce in. And I've seen that at stores. They don't want you to bring back bags.
So the virus, I think the thing with the virus, it has a very short lifespan, 72 hours depending on what the material is. But if they bring they're not touching anything. This would be a really good question to send to MNCTA. I would definitely send this question to MNCTA. But if you are going to let them use your saws, then the same theory would hold true. You'd have to disinfect the saws between customers, right? That would be that. But this would be a good one to send to Menosha. I would, and that link is on that page, so we should definitely get that to Menosha and ask them what they think what is the safest route
Yeah,
there.
and then, I see the grocery stores disinfecting the handles on the shopping carts. Some
Same
of the
here.
farms have some sort of carts, or toboggans with rope handles. Should we be using the same sort of solutions to disinfect those, or?
Absolutely. And we do the same thing. We have the disinfecting wipes right there. So if someone does want to grab a shopping basket, use it, you're going to self-clean it. I mean, if our staff hasn't already done it, it's made available to someone to do it themselves.
Okay, this is Dave Hansen. Thanks, first of all, John, for taking time. It's got to be one of your busiest days out there, I expect. So we do have, so thank you very much. So we got a couple of questions. I thought of one because we were discussing it before about capacity or control on the whole farm. So are you having to limit to 250 customers on your farm outside at any one time?
As far as when the pumpkin patch opens, the people are going up to pick pumpkins. There will be no limit on the amount of people that can go in. My understanding is that there's no limit to the amount of people that can go up and pick a pumpkin. Now, as far as Kathy was saying about the square footage of in the building, a little bit different story.
Thank you. Yeah, we got that. Thank you.
We can wait outside for that, but
yeah.
And the corn maze also the same reason. It's a little bit more entertainment-ish.
Yep. Understood. Yeah. We got that. Okay. How's business? Is it more?
Strawberry season was extraordinarily well. Apple season is starting off to be very, very well. Just on an aside, I'm kind of a little disappointed that the football season is going on because that really does impact our business on Sundays, and because people like to stay home and watch football. But it is what it is, and so we'll make do. Hopefully, the Vikings either do really well or really bad, and then people just kind of turn it off or tune it out and come out to Pine Tree. But otherwise, I think I'm very, very, very pleased with the way things are heading right now. Once again, it's a little easier in some aspects because there's no desserts, there's no sampling, no wagon rides, no entertainment. It's pretty straightforward. Come on out, get your stuff. And like Kathy was saying, we are encouraging people that, hey, when it gets really busy, if you know what you want, send Dad in with the money, and the rest of you guys can sit outside here, and that will make everything go just a little bit faster. But on another note, people wear masks, and they probably don't distance as well as they should. But I'm not the distance police, so you kind of say, well, yeah, they must all be together.
Do you or anyone have good templates or sources for signage, just reminding people to social distance? It's kind of boilerplate, so you can put up all around. I mean, I see all these clever ones in Wisconsin. They've got one about keep a cow apart.
Yeah, Mark, I actually will show a slide of that in just a moment here. So stay tuned.
And following on Karen's, our Chamber of Commerce made all that stuff available. So if you are connected to a civic organization that does a lot of work in a city or a town, they may have some of that stuff already out there. Because I know when I walk around White Bear Lake, everybody's got the same sign on. But the cute one I saw when I was on vacation up north was up in Grand Marais. It says, I was going to buy a T-shirt. It says, stay a moose apart, which is like 6 feet. So
One of the Christmas tree growers just posted something about, there's a reason the rows we plant 6 feet apart in Christmas.
There you go. There you go. But if there's no more questions for me, I am going to have to get back to my day job.
Thank you.
I thank you very much, Mark, for inviting me to be part of this, and I'm glad we were able to work this out. And hopefully, some of the knowledge that I expressed hopefully will help someone's life, make it a little bit easier.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Karen.
it was
Cheryl.
easy as apple pie, right? Okay,
Well,
Karen, I'm
Can
gonna
I
mute
just-
myself and give you the next 15 minutes to talk about Minnesota
that sounds
Grown, what
good.
they're doing. Some people there might walk away to go to the vendors, and we'll come back in 15, 20 minutes to focus on what the individual farm members want on COVID stuff. Okay.
Yes, and Kat